Right. I want to welcome you to today's, the second day of the financial literacy training. It's an information provision time. And we take this step to, again, reinforce the message of the Word of God that my people perish for lack of knowledge. We bring knowledge to you so that through the power of the knowledge, you can better yourself. That's what this is about, and that's what we want to emphasize. Yesterday, we had our guest speaker, you don't have to move that. Our guest speaker, Mr. Sixtus Ayuk, all the way from Edmonton, Alberta, come to speak a lot of wise information to us. It was a lot of things he shared yesterday. I do not profess to be as good as he is. I will dare to summarize what he talked about yesterday. I guess as normal, what I'm going to say may well be the area that appealed to me, or area that my brain was able to comprehend, because there are lots of figure areas, so I'm sure he can deal with the figure areas later on. I'm going to talk about the principle that is behind this. Because he's a chartered accountant by profession, those guys are very friendly with figures. So those of us who failed mathematics in school will not apologize for not getting figures right. In fact, in my school, I was waiting to get to a point I'm not going to be told to do mathematics again. And I was told maybe if you fail mathematics, you can still go to university because of the course you want to do. That was the best news I had. I don't have to pass mathematics to go and do the profession I wanted. Right, he talked to us about what he called Rule 72. And an important rule we must have to remember. And this rule is simply pointing us to how soon and how quickly your investment or your money will appreciate. The simple logic is to divide the amount you're investing by the interest you're getting. So that if you're getting 1% interest, you're going to need 72 years to double your investment. So if you're getting 10%, it's going to take you 7.2 years to double your investment. An important principle to note, especially when you go to the bank or some lenders or investors who want to give you savings and say they're going to pay you 1% or 2%. The reason for this gathering is to give you opportunity to know how you can make more money with your money. There are different facets to this operation. I'm focusing first in the need to save money. You got to save money, and saving money will enable you invest money. If you don't save money, you will have no money to invest. So you're going to be careful of what you spend money on. If it's not necessary, then you're going to have to look for a better way to make your money work for you. And then, because we evolve from a particular period, from a particular point, you're going to have to understand that to prepare for your tomorrow, you're going to have to begin to plan today. And that is the way it works. So that failure and success could be made deliberate. It's predictable. If you can predict anything, what is certain is your failure is predictable, your success is predictable. And that is a function of decisions you make and how you have applied the little or the big money in your hand. If you have invested wisely and properly, you will smile. If you have not, you will lose. And that's where prudence comes in. What you're going to hear him talk about today, I did hint on that yesterday, is the investment options that the WFG provides. I will come to that in a minute, because very often people talk of WFG as if it's all in all. No, WFG is just a conduit. It's not the operative. There is the equitable, Ivory, Manulife, name it. These are companies that have been there for over 125 years, and they are far bigger than the conduit. The way I can describe it is that if you are looking at the messenger, you lose sight of who sent him. When the king says to a messenger, go and arrest somebody for me. Messenger comes and arrests somebody, and you're beating up the messenger. You forget that it's not about the messenger, it's the king that is the powerhouse behind what the messenger has delivered. So that some people will, WFG has been a popular name in the industry, and many people would have heard it. Some have issues with that, and some have understood what they do. But I have a point for you to understand, because I was able to look into the activities and understand that what you really see happening is a model of advertisement and marketing. And this is the point. For 1 minute, you advertise your product with CNN. You're paying about $10,000. Depending on whether you're using the worldwide frame, or you're using Europe, or you're using North America or Africa, you can pay up to $10,000 for 1 minute. Your advert goes on CNN. So what I understand these guys have done was an ingenious way of empowering people to empower each other and empower other people. And that's what I find phenomenal in what they are doing. And that is to say to people, look, if you are able to get your country's or financial authority to give you a license to be able to sell our products, we're going to give you huge commission. We're not going to go pay CNN to market us. We're not going to go pay CTV to market us. You are our eye, our leg, and our front. So if you're willing to embark on the process of licensing and you get licensed, you're going to cover a bouquet of products, including BMO and the mortgage companies of this world, and you're going to cover the financial institutions that are under the umbrella that WFG also are licensed to operate. So put it this way, WFG is there to make sure you operate by the rules too, so that if you make any mess, they hold them responsible. That's really what they are doing. Otherwise, they don't pay you. It's Equitable that pays you if you sell their product. It's Ivory that pays you if you sell their product. It's all these companies that have been there. If you like, you Google them. These guys are worth billions, and they are quite reputable. Question is whether you're willing to step up and change your life and change the way you do things. You can ensure the future of your income by getting yourself involved in any of these, if I may say, additional income or income, depending on how you want to take it. You may want to take it as a full-time or part-time, or invest 1 hour or 2 hours, whatever you want to do. That is your choice. I always say to people, if you want to get this license and put it in the cupboard, what does it matter? Put it there. If you want to make 10,000 a year from it, that's fine. There are guys like these big boys, like Sixtus and Co, that make 300, 500,000 a year on this thing, because they invest more time, more money. They come, they go everywhere making it work. You can choose to play small if you are busy with other things, but what must be necessary is to get it first. Get it and talk about what you do with it. And that is the way to go, because somehow not to get it is simply ousting yourself from the opportunity it provides. And that is why I'm encouraging you not just to look at it from the option of investing, which is a very good one if you want to involve in wealth building. I want to say the 3 major areas that this operation will cover is the estate building, the insurance, and what am I missing? So I'm missing investment, estate building, and insurance. So these 3 arms have lots of product in them, depending on what you want to do and depending on your financial capacity. And what this operation wants to do is to get you to where the banks go to make the money they give you part of it. because that's what is interesting, and that's what separates the boys from the men. And I can assure you, in this society, and indeed in the whole Western world, you always have different places of play. You may wonder why Trump will say that he wants $1 billion and he gets it. And sometimes he doesn't make any down payment because of his net worth. And that is what gives the lenders confidence that these guys have done businesses, he has been able to succeed, so we can trust that he's going to turn this money around, pay us our money with interest. So you have those people you don't know they exist. Yesterday I talked about Savoy. What's the name again? Savoy. One of those mighty banks that you don't see anywhere. I had a dealing with them sometime in the UK, and I was amazed as what is possible. That's where the stars go to get loan to buy their property. Because you're going to have to begin with 1 million and above. When I wanted to buy property, and they're telling me, if the property is not up to 1 million and above, don't come to us. So you can see where they operate. They know the kind of people they deal with. And the reason I'm pointing this is because actually what the operation does, the information you're getting, is to give you opportunity either to help others to leverage and leave the 1% of the bank and go over through the facilities that are available to be able to make more for their money. Put it this way. It's a case of making more for their money and saving tax doing so, because what is happening is if you have money and you have a corporation, there are ways you can spend this money on yourself. It's not like when we talked about saving tax, it's not like there is any magic you're going to do. It's just that your lifestyle will change and the bank and the organization will pay for it. I mean, all these people you see in first class don't really pay for it. I can tell you that. You know, the company pays that because they know if I don't take this first class, I'm going to give it to the taxman. So you're a director of a company that is worth 500,000. Before we get there, you're going to have to make the money to make it 500,000. And that's where the commission these guys pay to you for being a front for their project makes sense. Because if they don't pay it to you, they're going to pay it to CNN. They're going to pay it to all the newspapers, to Google and all those places. They don't use them. They want to pay it to people like you who are willing to take what is required to get authorized. They don't regulate you. The Financial Services Authority regulates you. If you're going to get licensed, it's all official. You're going to register with Ontario. If it's in Ontario, you're going to register in Alberta, any province where you are, before you can be acceptable to them as holding you out to the public and say, we know this guy is working through us. He does anything wrong, hold us responsible. Apart from that, they have no business in what you do. And whatever you want to do, you do it as you prefer. So you heard him talk about segregated fund yesterday and the mutual fund. Of course, bank, if you've been to bank to deal with investment, they're going to talk to you about mutual fund. And what they are really talking about is to give you a piece of the money they got from segregated fund. And that's what it is. All the money that you're going to give to them, they're going to take it and put in the segregated fund. That's where the big boys play. You probably heard about hedge fund and all these kind of guys that sponsor projects like Google, like new inventions. That's where they make their money. They know they are literate in understanding an idea that will become big tomorrow. And the high street bank don't get involved in this. These guys fish out. You go and tell them your ideas, they look at it, and they know that in 2 years, this is going to worth millions. And they give you the money you need. And they partner with you, and they make it work. And that's where the bank take their money, and that's where they get their interest from. And after they have used your money to trade with these people, they give you the 2%, the 3%, or whatever they agree with you. What this is doing is giving you opportunity to deal directly with organizations that are actually championing this segregated fund side of things. And I know he talked something about X-curve yesterday, which is an important thing to understand. I mean, in my way, I'm going to tell you, the X-curve, don't mind all those complicated coinage. It's simply a case of having an eye on how you're progressing and how your responsibility is progressing and what decisions you've made to take care of your responsibility now and in future. Because as you will see in the X, when it's drawn, you will see an intersection where your responsibility is going up, and then your age is also going up, and then your responsibility is coming down, and your age is going up. And somewhere in between, you have a connection where they both meet. And where they meet is an important point, because if you're blessed with long life and you haven't planned to exceed that meeting point, you're in trouble, because you have nothing to fall back on. If you do not reach that meeting point, you're in trouble, because everything you have would have wasted, because you never planned for it. And to plan for it is to ask yourself, what policy have I put in place? What insurance do I have to protect myself? Or eventually, in the event that something happens, how will my family survive? You may have bought a house or a mortgage, but you haven't taken any step to protect yourself against any loss. If anything happens to you, family is shattered. This, when you talk of generational wealth, this is what it means. It's about building the wealth that must outlive you. Some of us may be late and thinking we are late, but to start today is the key thing. It's never late. Whenever you wake up, as they say, my place is your morning. You can wake up in the afternoon and say good morning to somebody. They will ask you, are you just waking up? You say yes, they will forgive you. This is a time to wake up for you. You don't have to think that like I do, because somehow I think I've lost opportunities. But I console myself because I spent a lot of time in the UK, and these products are not as frequent in the UK as I have noticed here. And that way, I was able to console myself that if I were here and these things passed by, I would have been very unhappy with myself, especially knowing what I have heard them talk about, that if I had started when the children were like 1 year old and start to invest in them, by the age of 20, 30, they will be financially independent. I understand what he talked about, universal life policy, which is a combination of life policy and investment. He showed the figure yesterday, and I was amazed that you can actually begin at the age of 20 to invest. What figure did he use? About 100? 100 for the small child. And then you have a time at 40 or 45 where you're drawing, you're not paying anything anymore, and you can actually draw 12,000 every year for the rest of your life. That's an incredible place to be. So the truth is that you can do this for yourself. You can set up all this arrangement. The reality is that the way our mind works is that we always operate with things our eyes see. And the invisible becomes greater than the visible unless you are able to grapple with them. When I think about the Internet of Things, when I was growing up, there was no such thing as internet. These days, when I travel, especially in countries where Wi-Fi is not popular, they give me a little modem. I put it in my pocket, and my phone is working with internet. And then I'm walking about carrying 2 phones that are connected to this little box in my pocket. And I kind of thought one day, is this not juju that I am carrying in my pocket? You know, this juju that is operating these phones, nobody's seeing it. It's in my pocket, but my phone is working and calling people all over the world on WhatsApp and on internet. I'm like, this juju is different. This particular juju that is very effective. And the reality is that in the world of finance, there is big and small juju. Some of us are used to high street bank, and that's all we know. And unless you have opportunity to hear from these guys, you're never going to know what is out there, what is really the bigger juju, where all these big men go and make money and they are busy moving like they have no job. And all they try to do really is because they've earned a lot of money doing so little, I would say, they need to reduce it because the taxman will claw it. So you see them go to Bahamas on holiday, go to, just name it, Seychelles, go to cruise. They simply try to reduce what the taxman will take. And you see some of them buy cars every year. Every year they move in their car and they get a new one. I don't think any of us don't like such lifestyle. You're going to make it possible for you if you want. And the way to make it possible is to begin now to plan it. You can begin now to plan it and you can make it work. You can make it work, I can assure you. Because I've been part of different businesses and different investment opportunities, and I know mine was brick and mortar. That's the sort of thing we understood. Evolving the world I've evolved is either you buy a house or not. Our investment is what we were seeing. Some of us, they tell us to come in, to buy stock even. You go there, you lose small money, you run away for good. I don't know if it happened to you, but it did happen to me. I had no clue what to do. I just jumped in, lost some money, I never went there again. If you talk of investment for me, show me the house to buy. If there's no house to buy, I don't understand what you're talking about. But when I heard these projects and the opportunities it presents, it's amazing to know that even on those policies, you can use them to borrow money up to a neighborhood of 1 million for what you want to do. I'm like, so why am I buying houses? Is it not to refinance it if I need money? And when you want to refinance it, they want to ask you about your salary, about your income. And they want to assess you whether you can pay the new rate at the new level of debt exposure for them. But when you have this policy, this product, the product itself takes care of it. Because all they're going to do is assign this product to us, and we give you the money. Because they know if you don't pay, this is liquid cash for them. They're just going to call on Equitable and all these big guys who are worth billions and say, look, please pay this thing to us. It's defaulted. So it became even more better investment option than what I used to know. And that's what is exciting me about this whole thing, that I have to make the effort to bring my brother Sixtus down to this place to come and talk to us more about it. When he told me all about these things, I thought, look, people should know about this, especially those who have children or those who have grandchildren. As a matter of fact, I might tell you that I've started planning for my grandchildren. Since I did not get to do this for my children because I didn't know, now I am thinking, why are you people laughing and looking at my daughter? Okay. Yeah, no, it's true. I'm seriously driving to this place this morning. I was actually thinking about it after I saw that illustration for a young child with $100 for 20 years. I mean, I could afford it many times when I was in my heydays. When these children were small, I could pay that easily without even knowing I'm paying anything, you know. So, and now they are all over 20 years, but there was no such thing in place. If there was such thing in place, I'd probably retire by now. And thinking to myself, give it to each of them and say, look, whatever, if you want to keep it longer, keep it. If you want to redeem it, redeem it. But what is interesting is that you can set this up for yourself as well. You can set this policy for yourself, and then it's your investment. And the interesting thing is you have a fallback for the children. If anything should happen to you, there is part of it that you can't take that they will take. But if you live long, there is part of it that you can spend. And that's why it makes sense to me. Coming from Africa, we don't really like life policy because it looks like you're telling us to die. You know, once you talk about it, I don't know, how, especially husband and wife. If wife tell husband that you need to get life policy, the kindred will come and settle that conversation. This woman is now planning to kill me. If care is not taken, that would be a threat for divorce. The man might pack out of the house and say, I'm not eating her food again. Now that she's trying to put life policy on my head, she wants me to die so she can take all the money. You see, so you have this huge opportunity, and I have just tried to put forward, and I will summarize this way. There are 3 stages I see of involvement, and that is those who want to be deliberate about improving their life. Therefore, you want to invest your money by purchasing either the life policy, the universal life with investment, or you want to purchase term, whatever you want to purchase, but somehow you're planning for the family members. You want to purchase something that can empower your children if anything should happen to you, or save that house you've bought where all of you live. You want to think about that. And then you have the estate building. You want to prepare yourself to make wealth through your investment. You want to be deliberate in choosing what you want to invest in. There are a lot of products that my brother Sixtus will talk about. Mine is just to give you the heads up. And there is yet an important part where you are part of the rainmakers. You're part of those who are helping others to assist themselves, i.e., you want to go down the route of becoming a license holder, and you're able to sell this product to other people. You're able to make money. I was really shocked yesterday when Sixtus gave that illustration with $100, and he says by the time you pay it for these 20 years, you're not paying anything. But I'm going to get 7,000 for selling that product. For me, I'm like, hang on. You mean you get 7,000 for selling a product of $100 a month to somebody? And that must be a lot of income for one deal. And I can understand why they do it, because the alternative is to go and pay it to CNN, pay it to the newspapers, pay it to Google, and they are not cheap. So they need to encourage these guys to be able to, come and do what they are doing here, speak to us about these possibilities, and get us to understand how it benefits us. They can do that other means, but it might not be as effective. So I find in that approach an ingenious approach to spread the news to people who may recognize how useful this can be for them. He talked about RRSP yesterday and RESP. Basically, I'm not going to go into detailed conversation. So many people may have that, but what he made clear is that, look, it's not the best place to be. There is a better place to be. You can take your money to segregated fund, and you're going to make a lot more money than you're going to get from RRSP. And one interesting thing is the FHSA that he talked about, that can give, if you can invest 800 every month, every year, 8,000 every year, the government will give you 25,000, 25% of whatever you invested. That's interesting, really interesting. And when he explained the RRSP, you find out that your money may cease to be yours when you want to withdraw it, because you're not going to be allowed to withdraw everything. You're going to withdraw, if you have 6,000, you withdraw 5,000, 1,000 must be kept. And the 6,000 you took is subject to tax in the coming year because they are waiting to see the income you make, and that may be subject to up to 21%, depending on your tax bracket. So you may end up seeing that it didn't really make sense. The money you thought you saved, you already paid it back and more. So that this is an eye-opener, and I want you to connect to this possibility and begin to ask yourself the pertinent question: what knowledge do I need to improve my life? That's the pertinent question. Of all these knowledge I've got, which one do I need to act on? And that is important question you must ask yourself. One of the challenges and questions we got was, how do we get people like my brother, who was keen on getting the license and moving forward with it and making it work? And it was like, how do I get people for this? And I did say, the only way you get, well, not the only way, one of the ways you get people is to convey the knowledge. You're not going to force people. First you're going to have to believe in this truth yourself. If you understand it and believe in it, are you telling people how they can make money for themselves, how they can settle their own family, how they can put things in place and go to bed and sleep and say to themselves, if anything should happen to me today, my family is covered. If you're telling people how they can invest little money over a period of time and they make huge income and they don't buy it, then they are not the people you're looking for. If they buy it, then you've got a customer. And that can start with your friends. You may not have a house now, but one day you're going to have a house. He talked about that young man who was a mortgage broker, a realtor. And then all he specializes in is to refer to Equitable and to all those guys in the finance industry. He just refer clients to them that want to buy property. And he was making 90,000 doing that. I mean, that's awesome. You're just going to carve out for yourself a niche in the whole bouquet. And that's what I want people to understand. You don't need to do everything. You don't need to do everything. You're going to find in all this, if you have looked at those materials, you're going to find different products there. You're going to be able to say to yourself, this is my thing. You may just specialize on children. You just don't want to bother with adults. You want people with little children. That's what you want. You want to get them to set these children up in good time, and that's all you want to do. You don't even want to bother with the rest of the product. You can choose to do everything. You can choose to go for commercial, because one company, and what does it take? You knock at the door, you come in to speak to the director and say, I want to talk to you about how you can protect your organization. How many directors do you have? He said, we have 4. He says, suppose 3 dies, how do you sustain this company? Suppose 2 dies, how do you sustain this company? Suppose they fall ill and become unable to work, how do you sustain this company? And maybe the director never thought about it. He said, I never thought about it. Or suppose you become sick and unable to come to work. Everything you have labored to set this company up, how do you recover them? And that's where you begin to tell him about how they can insure each other as a member of a corporation, so that if anything should happen to one of you, the insurance company will be paying the salary of somebody who can step in and continue to do the work of that individual. And if anyone should die, the company can buy out the shares. The policy can buy out the share of that individual and pay it to the organization. And they can be paid to the person who is late. There are lots of opportunity. And I was amazed at the magnitude of information that up to this time was unknown to me. I say unknown to me because I think I know a lot. But when I was humbled by the amount of information that could have helped me a lot and helped people around me a lot that I didn't know. I mean, it's only wisdom to want to know. It got to be. The beginning of wisdom is to be willing to know. And that's why we are here. The willingness to know is why you're here, why you've logged online, and I appreciate that. But one thing is to first to know, the second is what you've done with what you got to know. If you can know everything and do nothing with it, it will be as good as not knowing anything anyway. So that I made the point earlier before some of you walked in, what is key is to get the license in the drawer. The secondary thing is, what do I do with this? If you want to make 10,000 a year with it, it's your choice. But not to have it is something you cannot afford to do. Because if you want God to bless you, you're going to bring something to God to bless. If you want God to bless you in this project, you have to get it first and get it in your hand and be able to have the license to operate with this conglomerate. When you achieve that, the rest will take care of itself. I will always be a fan of saying, you got to first count one before you count two. But somehow in our mind, our head wants to wrap around everything from beginning to end. It's not today that it started. That's human thing. We want to know beginning and the end. Nobody does that. It's only God who is the one who knows beginning and the end. What is true is your beginning is what you're willing to do now to help yourself. What is going to happen after you achieve the goals is a different ballgame. Even if nothing happens, the knowledge of it in itself can be of help to you and of help to somebody one day. And that's what I find in life. There are many things I've done that hasn't given me much money. But what they have done is they prepared me for the greater height of a different kind, because I knew those things that I thought was for a different purpose. It never worked out that way, but somehow it worked out in another way. And I will really invite you to take seriously the need to, if nothing else, go down the route of licensing and get yourself into the knowledge of what this is about. And then be prepared to what else the Lord is willing to do. With this, I will say, let me invite the man who knows the figures to probably show us how it works. Mr. Sixtus Ayuk, good to have you.
Thank you for coming once more. It's a good thing to be here, but I can't wait to go back home. I can't wait to go back home and leave you guys with your nice traffic system. Wonderful traffic. You're all welcome. I'll tell you, we are in a good place. We are in a very good place. Write this down. You know, when he was talking, I was saying maybe we should end it there because you said everything. You really said everything which we are supposed to discuss here. But I want you to write this down. Segregated funds versus mutual funds. And I want you to write it so you go home and check, because we all fall in that trap every day. Segregated funds versus mutual funds. If I go there right now, I asked a question yesterday and I'll ask somebody here. Do you have mutual funds? Most people will not know they have mutual funds. So I ask you, do you save in mutual funds? We don't know, am I right? But do you have savings account? A lot of people here have savings account in the bank. Do you have RRSP in the bank? You have,
Yes.
do you have TFSA?
Yes.
Okay, which bank? Sorry to ask.
RBC.
RBC. Sister, you have it in which bank? It's not with the bank. Which place? Like an insurance company? Okay. Why am I asking these questions? Well, you have time, check those things. If you look here, these are the things we do as well, financial group. These are the only three things we do. We do protection, we do investments, and we do other things like mortgages, line of credit, corporation insurance, estate planning. All these things we do with just one license. I love doing what I'm doing with Wealth Financial Group. I'm a chartered accountant. Ask me, let me tell you, I have over 500 clients in my database. Why am I leaving them? I don't take new clients. Why am I leaving them to do this? With my one license, I do all these things. The guys in the banks, they have half of the license I have. My license is issued by the government. It was issued by the Alberta government. Now I have license in Ontario. I have license in BC. I operate in the US, and I'm going to have license now in Saskatchewan and two other provinces. Why? Because with my license, I can operate anywhere in Canada. So what do we do? Let's go with protection. Please, I'll just run through these products. Then if you have any question, ask me, so we rush very fast. But I told you something when I started: segregated versus mutual funds. Segregated funds versus mutual funds. Now, protection, we do life insurance. We do critical illness. If I ask you a question, most people here have life insurance. That's what I discovered in one event. When I went there, everybody said, yes, I have life insurance. Then I ask a question. You have life insurance. What? How much do you pay your life insurance? Somebody told me last time that they pay their life insurance $75. So if you have it here where you pay $75, it's okay. Do you have it here where you pay $75 a month? Nobody, so you're good. So the question I ask also, do you have a car? That car, does your car, do you have insurance for that car? Okay, then the next question I ask you, how much do you pay insurance for that car? Maybe 100? Yeah. Maybe 400 for one car? One car, 400. Wow, that's great. Ontario, that's great. Okay, then the next question I ask you, see where I'm going? The next question I ask you, you have a car, you have insurance for $400 for that car. What's the value of that car, if I may ask? About 30, 40, 50,000? Okay. Do you know you will pay that insurance as long as that car keeps on driving? And you don't know if you will drive that car for 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. But if you live in the next 30 years, you still drive a car. Am I right? And if you drive a car, you will still be paying $400. Let me ask you something. You love your car so much so that, do you have life insurance? I don't know. Why do I need it? Let me tell you this. If that car crashes on the way and the car is dead and you are dead, one person is going to be paid. Who is going to be paid? The car company. They're going to be paid. You are not going to be paid. Why not sit back and ask this question? I'll tell you this quickly. What made me to start this business? I knew it a long time ago. I didn't want to go into it. I lost 2 of my clients. One was a truck driver from my country. Truck drivers pay a lot of insurance for their cars. This guy was paying $1,200 a month for truck insurance. When we had this chat, he said, no, you know, I'm still in my 40s. It's okay. This guy, believe me, about 7 months later, he ran into a car accident and died. He got roasted in the car completely from my country. Now he just removed his wife from Cameroon to Ghana. The wife just had twin. And when he died, they had to struggle to do DNA to confirm that he was the one. They paid the truck company about $300,000 because the truck was worth about $280 something like he bought or something like that. But his family packed and went back home. You get the point? When I saw this, then one of that Caucasian died. That's why I'll tell you, life insurance is the best thing you want to look in your life first. Now, don't look at life insurance like life insurance. I pay over, I think I was sharing with how you, I pay over $2,950 a month for my life insurance, 2,950 a month. And I love it. Why do I love it? Because there is a technique in these companies which the rich they do and we don't do. I'll find time, you will share me that slide. He shared something here. I had a chat with you. The rich don't leave their money in the bank. Let me say this again. The rich will never leave their money in the bank. The rich leave their monies where they can go there at any time and get a loan of $1 million, $2 million, 10 million. So we'll come to that. So first thing we do here is protection. You need life insurance for yourself, but go for something which the same money you put in your life insurance, let me assure you, you can withdraw that money back, everything, and yet you still have life insurance. Can I say that again? Okay, now somebody wants to listen. The same 2,900 I'm putting every month, if you do 2,900 times 12, that's what I pay a year for my life insurance. If you do that number for me, if you do that times 10 years, times 20 years, that's what I'm going to contribute for 20 years. Huh? For how many years? No, for a year, no, 29,000, no, 2,900 times 12, what's it? 2,900, huh? That's what I pay here for my life insurance. So multiply that times 20. That's what I will pay for 20 years. Does that make sense? Now, it doesn't make sense to a normal person. But write this down. I'm going to withdraw that money times 3 while I'm still alive. Tax-free. And that's something I'll use one person here if you permit me to do an illustration in this house. So there is no longer life insurance. They just put the name there, but I call it savings. So we do savings, we do critical illness, we do disability, we do health and dental, because we work with the big guys. We work with Manulife. If you go here, these are the guys we work with. We work with TD. I represent TD. I represent BMO. I represent Manulife. Represent IA. Represent 85 companies with my license. Okay. So we represent these guys to give these products. Now, we also do investments, wealth management, debt solutions, retirement plans, children plans, locked in, mortgages. I think I talked about mortgages yesterday. Mortgage, I do it on my bed. I don't need to go out to do mortgage. As I was sitting here, if I had calls, I would have done like 10 mortgages before coming here, just sitting there. Because I just go to the app, put the name of the person who needs a house. Marvelous needs a house. His name, his number, his phone number, his contact, bam, is done. Marvelous will get the best rate he can get because we have the best people we have in this issue. So everybody here can do that right from your bed. I think that will be interesting for someone to do. So we do mortgages, we do all these things. So these are the things we do in a nutshell. If you have any question with any of these ones, let me know. And we do these things, any investment you see here, we don't do it in mutual funds. I told you mutual funds is like the Edmonton weather. It's good today, it's bad tomorrow. But segregated funds, when you have time, you go through and look through segregated funds. Segregated funds is where you want your money to be invested. If your money is invested in segregated funds, write this down quickly for me, please, if you don't mind. Only life insurance companies offer segregated funds. Right? Only life insurance companies offer segregated funds. Segregated funds guarantee all or most of your principal investment upon maturity of death. Mutual funds does not guarantee. So once you go there, you will see all those things, what guarantees and what does not guarantee. So I don't know if anybody have any question on what we provide here before we go ahead, please. Any question? No question. Okay, let me just jump back to what you shared a bit. Rule of 72, I'll show you something here. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk on rule of 72, but I want to show one thing here on rule of 72. I said something yesterday, and I'm asking here, most people have mutual funds, which is good. Let me show you what segregated funds will do for your life. Let me, whether you can come to help me here for 1 minute, please. Okay. I told you something with rule of 72, so please use your calculator here quickly. I'll show you something powerful. 72 divided by 5, what's it? 72 divided by 5. On your phone, just do it, yeah. So it means any money you save, if you are getting 5% interest, your money is going to double in how many years? 14 years. Read something on the board and see something. That's why I don't go with mutual funds. That's why this is the business to be. That's why this is a place to save. I'm begging you. Read the date. I want you to read this date. That date is January 5th. Am I right? January 5th this year, not last year. Okay. I remember this client because I had to talk to this client for over a year. And this client was so stubborn with me. This client never wanted to listen to me. I was sharing with Sister Taya. I said, when clients tell you no, still rejoice. Because they will still look for you someday. That's a business we are in. This client left the government. I think they settled her some money. She put in a locked-in account. She had about 125,000. 1 year later, it became this. In mutual funds. What did it come to? 118,000. From 125,000 that she placed in mutual funds because she loves RBC, because she loves TD, because she loves Scotia, because I'm just a person. Let me tell you, I am not me. I am 85 companies. Write this down. Any money you put in the bank above 100,000 is not guaranteed. If the bank closes and you have 1 million, you are only guaranteed 100,000. Write it down. The people who are guaranteeing your money in the bank, they are called CDIC. So any money above 100,000 in any bank in Canada is not guaranteed above 100. Any money you save in any insurance company, you are guaranteed 95% of that money if it is more than $1 million. If it's less than $1 million, you get everything because they are guaranteed by Assuris. Look at this lady. She had 125. She never came. I love that. She came to me 1 year after. She brought 118. So what's the date again? 118, January 5th. And what's the date of today? How's the money looking now? Do you love to have that type of investment? That is about 3 or 4 months, am I right? Do the math. That's about $18,000. Let's assume for 4 months she made $18,000. Let's assume in the whole year we still have 8 months to go. Am I right? Let's say she only make another 18,000. That would be 26,000. So do this math. 26,000 divided by 118, how much percentage is she going to make? Do it for me. Do it. I want us to interact a bit, please. That is the power of segregated funds. That is what people need. That is what people need to see. That is what people need to see and see how they can take out that profit and enjoy their life. Why do we work so hard? We work so hard, I say, work smart, not hard. What's the percentage? 26,000 divided by 118. 22%. This lady, the day I opened this account for her, I told her, I can guarantee you 7 to 10%. I never tell my client, I know behind the scenes, I know what is happening. If I go here now and I know I spend time, like I was sharing with her, the time you spend helps your client and change your life. Every day I wake up and I make less than 25, 30, 35, 40,000 in this business. If I make less than that in a month, I fail my family, and I fail myself, and I fail my clients. Because if I don't give my clients the right thing, I don't get paid. When I go here now, 22%. So 72 divided by 22. This 118,000 will become 236,000 in the next 6 years or 7 years. I can guarantee you that. This person is about 35 years old. What happens if in the next 7 years she leaves this money and have 200 and something thousand. Is that good or bad? I was sharing with her. I said, this lady did not join WFG, but she sent me 11 people. 11. 11. You see, what we don't know is what we don't know. So that's the power of segregated funds. So when you hear me talk of segregated funds and tell you about the power of 72, that's what I'm trying to tell you here. It's so powerful, and I beg on each and every one here, when you go back, check where you are placing your funds. Where you are saving your funds really matter. Any questions so far? If there is no question, then I will jump to the next slide now. Yes, go ahead. Yeah. Mhm. What you're asking is very important, so let me go there quick. I would like to show most of the things people ask, I like to show with illustration, right? I'm coming, just you and I will walk here a lot. So, let me come just. Okay, Mama, you can just ask what you, if you can repeat so people online can get you, please.
Okay, so what I asked was whether there was a maximum or minimum amount of money that you need to invest a month, because you did mention that you invest about 2,900 a month. So not everybody can put aside that amount a month. So say I earn, say, 4,000 a month, and I want to put $500 aside in a segregated fund. Would that work?
It will work. I'll tell you the truth, like you asked. There is no maximum or minimum amount I will say you can invest for yourself. When I was teaching yesterday, I said something of the 70-20 and the 10 rule. I say with the 70-20-10 rule from the richest man in Babylon, try to make sure that you pay yourself first. Most people are working, they earn 4,000, but they don't pay themselves first. By paying yourself first means you save or invest something for yourself. And what the richest man in Babylon says, do at least 10%. So if you're making 4,000, I will say anything less than 400 will not be too good. You go, I'm just saying it will not be too good. I'm not saying you cannot go lower than that. Okay. Now, why did I go for 2,900? It goes to with what I'm planning to do in the future. Number one. Number two, I sat back and looked at myself. Okay. I have 5 companies. I have 4 to 5 companies. Okay. I am the key person in those companies. So I want my companies to pay me salary without giving me a paycheck. Can I say that again? So my companies need to pay me salary without giving me a paycheck. Because if they give me a paycheck, the tax guys will come for their tax. You get the point? So what did I do? I said, okay, company A, I am so cheap, pay me $1,200 a month. Company B, pay me $1,750 a month. But how are they paying me? They are paying me to tell the government, this guy is a key person in our company. If he is not there today, our company cannot survive. So what did the companies do now? This particular company I'm here now paid $1,200 for me every month. So when they put it for me as my key person protection, I am the director, I have the owner to withdraw from there or get a policy loan on that. Does that make sense? So that's why I will tell you it doesn't go with how much you think you can invest. Just go with what your mind really tells you and what you are looking for tomorrow. I have a plan I'm running for someone now. When he asked the same question, how much can I invest? Because he was looking at doing 13.5 for himself. When I was done, he's an Indian guy. He's just 47 by then. He decided to do 30,000 a year. Why was he doing 30,000 a year? He is doing 30,000 a year because he wants that when he goes on retirement, he wants to be withdrawing 20,000. He wants to be withdrawing 60,000 a year. Write this down. Whatever you invest in wealth accumulator plan, you can withdraw times 2 of that till the day God calls you. And I'll show that with an example here. So you can decide to go high, you can decide to go low, but you have to know what are you looking for, right? What are you, I don't know if that helps. Okay, you have to decide what are you looking for. If I'm looking for, okay, I don't have RR, standing here, I'm not a fan of RRSP. I do it for people. I don't like it because I don't like the way the government is taxing it. So how do I run away from RRSP? I put all my money in universal life, or I put it in wealth accumulator. Okay, and I'll tell you something. This same guy who did 30,000, I'm doing him a plan now for $200,000 a year. Why is he doing $200,000 a year? As soon as you do $200,000 or anything more than 100,000 in this country, if you put anything more than 100,000 a year in your wealth accumulator plan, by right, you can apply within 24 to 48 hours of your approval for a line of credit of 1 million. Write down this, write Manulife Bank. Do you know Manulife has a bank? I said it yesterday, so those who were here, they will know. Do you know Manulife has a bank? And now you know. Okay. Manulife banks only give line of credit of 1 million and above. Equitable has been there for 127 years. They give line of credit for 1 million and above. Industrial Alliance has a bank. They give credit. So this guy now, I'm doing him a life savings of 200,000 a year. Where's the 200,000 coming from? His company made a profit of 450,000 a year. So 200 is coming out from his profit. 150 is coming out from his, 100 is coming from his profit because him and his wife are directors. So what came out from his profit? 300. What is left? 150. Is he going to pay tax on 450 or 150? Who cares? He's going to pay tax on 150. Does that make sense? So go with what you want. And now who is going to do the withdrawal? Now he's putting 200,000 a year. It means when he is 67, 68, he's not going, who is going to be withdrawing 400,000 a year? It's him, not his company. And when he takes it as withdrawal, who is going to pay back the money? If he takes it like policy loan, his company. Because his life insurance by then is about 14 to 17 million. So those are some of the things we show here. So let me show this illustration quickly. Let me use one person here now. Who can volunteer, please? I need a volunteer. Let me use Marvelous. Today is your day. Yesterday was Sister Chinyere. Okay. See what this plan will do for somebody. Then I'll end with this one product. Then we'll go ahead. I've showed you what the segregated fund will do. I'll show you now what wealth accumulator will do for somebody like Marvelous. Marvelous, let me go with you. So let's say I have somebody like Marvelous now walking, and he says, please, I want to be saving, give me an amount. I want to be saving 500 a month. Okay. Now, he wants to save 500 a month. See what I'm going to do? If he wants to save 500 a month, I want to make sure that within the next 20 years, if you want to buy a house, you should have enough money from that 500 you're putting from today. I want to make sure that when you go on retirement, you should have times 2 whatever you are putting now until the day God calls you. Is that a good deal? But yet, if you live this well, your generation will still have money. So let's try it. If you miss anything here, let me know. Then after this, I'm going now on the business side. So if I click this, so let me go here. I want Marvelous to do some withdrawals. 500 a month, that's 6,000 a year. Am I right? 6,000 a year. Let me say in the next 30 years. Let me just leave this first one and I say I want you to withdraw 12,000 a year. I don't know if this will go. So how much is Marvelous depositing now? How much is he saving? 500. That's 6,000 a year, right? Marvelous, see what's going to happen in your life. This is your life. We are checking now how your life will look like. From the age of 52, how much are you withdrawing every year? 12,000, am I right? I don't know how long you want to stay, but I know God will give you long life because I see you still look strong and healthy, okay? So let's say you have to withdraw 12,000 for the next 30 years or 33 years. So do the math, how much is that? 12,000 times 33, it will bring us to 85, am I right? So at the age of 85, you're withdrawing 12,000 a year. Somebody help me. What was it? Times 33. $396. Now, how much did Brother Marvelous contribute? How much did he save? He saved, you saved, if you didn't know, I'll tell you, you saved 120,000 for 20 years. Am I right? But now, how much have you withdrawn? And if you withdraw 396, nothing will happen to you, but the next day something happens to you. Go to the end and see how much they are going to give to your family. 561,000 is going to your family. Is it showing?
No.
Okay, it's showing here. It's not showing here. Is it showing there? It's showing. No, it's showing. Oh, it's too small. I will make it big. The online people are not seeing. No, here, they are not here. It's good for the online to see. So he saved 120,000. On this one, the online people are not seeing this one. Please, this is very crucial. If you don't understand it, ask me. Are we okay? Can we continue? Yes, the online can see now. So if you go here, please. At the age of 85, are we okay? Okay. So at the age of 85, how much has he withdrawn? How much did he put in? 120. So the 120 has given him 396,000. But let's say the next day he leaves this world. How much are they going to give to his family? 561,000. So the thing with these plans is, it's not meant for you to die before your family enjoy, because they didn't work this money for you. You work the money yourself. So enjoy it while you are alive. Does that make sense? Enjoy it while you are alive. Once you are gone, then your family gets it. The other sweet part with people who have children, if you do it for your children, like I heard, he says he's going to do it for his grandchildren. God bless you. I will copy from that also. I'll do it too for my grandchildren. Now, this is what happens. When you do it for your grandchildren, you have the right to withdraw money from that account. So maybe after 20 years, you have put in for your grandchildren 120,000. You can go there and withdraw even 300,000. Then your grandchildren can also go in and withdraw. I will show you that too. If we have time, I can show you how to design that. Your grandchildren can still go there and withdraw like 200,000. Then the rest will go to their own children when they come up. So it can go from one generation to another. So let me tell you the truth. That is why the Trudeaus, they don't put their money where we put our money. I will show you some. There is a guy called Ed Mylett. Write it down. Ed Mylett is one rich guy in the U.S. They don't do RRs. They don't do 401k in the U.S. They don't do it, but they help other people to do it. Because they know where they put their money. If you ask me, why did I do $2,900 a year? I know how much I plan to be withdrawing every 5 years while I'm still alive. So these are the things people don't know, and these are the things we show people. So with this illustration, is there any question, please? Any question on this illustration? So I think we've touched a lot on the investments. The next thing I want to beg on everyone here, I work a lot with a lot of Indians, a lot of Caucasians. I see what they make. You can do any amount, like I was going to on this because Brother Marvelous told me about $500. But let me tell you the truth, you can do even $50, you can do even $100. It depends on the age. If a child, you can never do it for a child who is less than 15 days old. They don't accept. A child must be 15 days and above. Days. Most of the Indians I work with, as soon as their wives are pregnant, they are already preparing for this. As soon as a child turns 15 days old, they go in, listen to this, they go in to put $1,000 a month. But now, because the insurance company, they know this, they have blocked it. They don't want you to overput it in your children's plan. So what have they done? For you to do it for your child, you have to have double what you want the child to have. Can I say that again? Okay, let's say I have a child who is just like 15 days old, 10 years. I want to do a plan for them. Their death benefit, if I want it to be 200,000, mine must be 400,000, and that of my wife needs to be 400,000. So your child should only have half of what you have, because the rich were putting a lot of money on their children. Then you start hearing, that child had an accident. You get where I'm coming from. So they stop a lot of these things because people will tend to kill each other because of this small money in life insurance, the way I call it. So they make sure now that what the parents are having, the child should just have half. That's one. I have this guy, he's doing 6,000 for his children every year. The child is 4 years old, and the other child is 9 years old. He does 6,000 for them a year, right? And that gives him a lot of money. But I'll tell you the truth, if a child is like 15 years old, don't go too big. Don't go too big. For me, I will say, if you do 200 a month, that child will be wealthier than you where you are today. There are numbers for that. We don't have time. If you only help a family do $200 a month, so when we have time, we'll come back to that. So let me show another thing here. If you only do, because I see parents work hard, they take 200. 200 times 12 is 2,400, right? You know why most parents go for RESP? That's another thing I hate. Let's be sincere, most people here have children. You know why we go for RESP? We are running for, because the government says they'll match it. Am I right? Have you ever sit back and ask yourself, how much matching are they going to do? They told you 20% to a maximum. What maximum? Most people don't know. 20% to a maximum was 7,200 for the life of that child. So even if you can, you put 100,000 for that child, they only match 7,200 for the life of that child. But can I show you that that same $200 you were putting, I can get you that money times 10, and 2,400 times 10 is not it's not 7,200. Then why did you go for that? Because that's the only place you knew. And today we are bringing you something different, something new. This is information which is not just for you. Share this information with others. There are others there who are still doing it, but they don't know that it's wrong. So, Pastor, I will end with this. Let me just show this one illustration for the child so they can see it. Then I'll show you the business part of this, what it brings to our lives. So let me just share this again back with you 1 minute. I'll do a quick share on I'll show you what if you put for a child forever. I'll just do a summary of that. When you put for a child for monthly, what will happen? for those of you who are here who have started this business and you're going to do it, this is our app. This is the app I use even when I'm in the airport, right? Wealth Builder University is a very good app. So if I go here and I say, okay, sister, see something. Let's say you have a child, the child is 1 year old. Let's say you have a baby girl. And you say, okay, he just taught us something today. I don't want to do RESP again for that child. The 200 you used to do RESP, you decide to save the 200 every year. Let's say you save it in an estate builder. What are you doing? You are building an estate for your child with the same money which you would have put in the RESP. Let me tell you something. If that child doesn't go to school, do you know what will happen to that money? Have you ever asked that question? So these are things you need to find out. Okay. So when I do RESP for families, I do it like family plan. So if child A cannot make it to the university, child B can benefit. But if you only have one child and they can't make it, you will lose most of those grants. So we need to think. Now, see something. You are doing $200 a month, and you wonder when your child is going to school, they should have some money. With the same $200, you want when your child wants to marry or wants to buy a house, they should have some money. With the same $200, you wonder when your child goes on retirement, your child should have some money. $200 a month times 1 year is $2,400. Times 10 years is 24,000. Am I right? Times 20 years is what? 48. Government will give you how much? 7,200. So I'll add that for you now. So add 48,000 plus 7,200 is what? 48 plus 7 is 55,200. Read with me here. Do your calculation. Bam. I do 10 of these at least every month. If I do this, at the age of 18, how much do you have to withdraw for that child to go to school? 40,000. Mark you, we started when that child was 1. It means you have only deposited for 17 years. Am I right? But yet you have 40,000. Why not go there and in this plan they allow you to automatically withdraw 90%? Why not go here and withdraw 30,000 for your child's school fees? That's why I'm still begging on most parents, please, once you leave here, go to every house and show them this. Because I see a lot of children going through mental stress. They have stress because they are living on student loan. This is not the era for young ones to go for student loan, I beg you. It's not the time for student loan. With everything we have now, student loan, we have to run away from it. Now, you withdrew, let's say you withdrew 30,000. At the age of 45, I don't know who is 45 years old. How much is that child supposed to withdraw? Let's read it. 250. If the child had already withdrawn 30,000, it means they have 230. Okay. Now, what happens if they go there and withdraw 150? It means they have withdrawn 180. How much did you save? 48. Who cares? Why do we work? Let me tell you, I beg you, don't work until the work start working on you. Because we work until work start working on us because, you see, some people, I was talking to a lady, she's 77 and she's still going to work. Mama, what are you doing? Early retirement is good. This is a plan for early retirement. Okay, now, I told you I don't like RRSP. Am I right? Now, you only save 48,000. This child turns 65. What's the figure? 788. Is it okay? Can you see it? 788. You only save 48,000. And you stopped saving long time ago when this child was 21. And now, let me tell you, if any parent here does it for their child, even your grandchildren will put your picture on their wall. Believe me, I said this somewhere. I said, if you, the father, die, and your grandchildren don't have your picture on your wall, you have to check yourself in the grave. Because your grandchildren will love things like this because you made it for them. Am I right? Have you gone to the grave where you see some people crying? They are not just crying because somebody died. Okay. I can give you 5 reasons why they cry. This one, I said something. I said, had it been my father did this for me, I would do him like 3 burial. I'm not joking. I would do that man 3 burial. See what this guy is getting at the age of 65. This person doesn't need RRSP. Why are you killing yourself every day with RRSP? And see the bad part. I was in the hotel last night, somebody called me. You go to the bank give most people here loans to put in their RRS. Line of credit. You know, we love you. Your credit score is so nice. This is line of credit. You can just use this and booster. They use a big word. So booster what? Is it booster juice or what? Booster your RRSP. You are digging a hole and opening another. This doesn't work. Don't do R. I told you that. And you might like it and I'll do it for you. And if I do it for you, I'll still make money. Okay? But why not do this? Why not do this? 788. Every family I show them this slide. If I show 10 families, I do it for 9. 10. That's why this well builder is in all my house, all my cabin. Now, see something. Let's say this person has been on 700,000 and it's okay, I'm tired of money. What I was showing here, assume it was Pastor here who did it for his grandchildren. At the age of 45, you can be the one to withdraw that money. You can withdraw. You say, okay, I've withdrawn the money I put in. My children, bless your life. At the age of 65, these children can withdraw, and so we don't want to withdraw again. See the big number. What number do you see? That's if God keeps them up to 100. Then let's say reduce it that they are going to leave this one at the age of 85 or 90. So remove even 1 million there. So when I was telling you I'll bury my father times 3, you think I was joking. If my father had left this money for me, maybe I'm not even here talking to you guys now. Okay? So it's good that he didn't leave this money for me. So this is the beauty. I'm not joking. This is the beauty of what we do for families because they don't know. Let me tell you, I am just one person. What if all of us know what I know to show family? Don't you think will help our community? Don't you think will help a lot of people out there? So the question is, how do you do what I'm doing? Let's go to that. Any question for me? There is no question. Let's just go to that. What I started with this yesterday, I will show you. This is a very powerful business. Brother here said you will do $500 a month. Am I right? Take your calculators before I show you how to start this business. Because I will beg you with the love of God. I will beg you with the strongest voice. I will beg you with anything I have. Don't blink when it comes to this business. Don't beg. Do you know World Financial Group? I will tell you the truth. There are a lot of bad reviews out there. Can I say that again? There are lots of bad reviews. I was going out there, I saw Primerica. Primerica is over here. You know WFG is born from Primerica. WFG is born from Primerica. Somebody like Rich Tolly is a billionaire today because they are the ones who split from Primerica and they started WFG and they bought shares. Okay, then I will tell you, people are saying what they are saying because they have not tasted what is inside. People are saying what they are saying because they don't know how the company is structured. People are saying what they are saying because they don't even know which one. I'll end by showing you guys that. And let me help you. 500, do me this. Let me tell you, I'll do policy for don't worry. So, let's say I just did a policy for him for how much did he say? Multiply 500 times 12, how was that? That's 6,000. Okay. As soon as we multiply it by 12, it's 6,000. Because I did it under equitable like, he used a good word. We are like marketers for 85 companies. We don't sell anything, we educate you, then we decide. So it's 6,000. So look for me 6,000 times 2.01. How much is that? Huh? $12,060. As soon as they calculate that, I have my very good friend and what I call now Kamsi. Kamsi, how are you? That's not the sound of the champion. You are a champion, let me tell you. Maybe you don't even know. Now you see Kamsi. Kamsi already got his license. I'm so happy for you. I'm happy for everybody who have their license. Now, if that, what you just did, if Kamsi has to do that for somebody next week, right? Please, I want you to pay attention before I show you the real business. If council has to do that for somebody next week, right? Multiply that. How much do you have? 12,000, right? 12,060. Send it somewhere now. 12,060. Council is a training associate. Like what I was telling you yesterday. So immediately he does that, within 48 hours, as it is approved, within 48 hours, he should expect in his bank account that those are points times his position. So what's his position? He's a training associate. So you multiply that by 0.26. So 48 hours, he did something for you for $500, and that's the money going into his bank account. So how much is that? Okay, stop. But do you know that's not what he was supposed to be paid? You see, when people call it WFG, it's a scam, it's because of something. So I want to clear this counting before I go. They will call it a scam because he is paid that. But do you know how much he was supposed to be paid? So take out the 0.26 and do it 0.66. What was that? That's what he was supposed to be paid. So the same thing he did for you, within 48 hours, he was supposed to get 7,900 and something, right? But how much did they pay him? Where is the rest? The company didn't eat it. The rest came to us. Can I say that again? Because he's in that position as a training associate, if they go up now, who recruited him? They see that he was recruited by this person. So they check, what is his level? Thank God, he's been promoted. Most of you know, I was sharing my hand. And here you promote yourself. So he's in the position of an associate. They will skip him. But when they come to the position of marketing director, you are earning 51%. So if Kamsi did something, they pay him 3,000. The next person they look is the marketing director. They give him 51% and was Kamsi's position. So they give him 25% for not doing anything. Does that make sense? That's helping you to answer something they ask you. Now, when they give him, some money is still left on the table. Where does it go? I might be in Mexico swimming and the money is entering my bank account. Does that make sense? So when they call this scam that they give people money, they don't eat nobody's money. You decide the level you want to place yourself and you end it. I do policies like that, like sometimes I do 5 in this level in a month. Okay? If you do 5 like that in a month, you are short $35,000. It's not rocket science. It's in the bank account. And if you come to that position when they start paying you bonuses, I get a bonus every month. So let me show you, what do you do to come to this level? Let's go quickly now. This is the last thing that we can go and praise from. Because they say we are really here at 3. Any question on that? So please, I will beg you, when we are here, let us make this thing work for all of us. So I say, dream, okay? Dream. We look at some of this, I'll just run through. Take charge of your life. Today is your opportunity to build the tomorrow you want. Okay? Today is your opportunity to build the tomorrow you want. So I'll just go faster. Okay? I talked about this yesterday. Everybody sitting there, we have these 3 common challenges: daily pressure, constant running around, right? Limited and dependent income. Most people here, if you don't go to work, you don't get paid. Am I right? You don't go to work, you don't get paid. There are some days that I come back from church on Sunday, I don't open my door till Wednesday because I don't know what I'm going to do out there. Okay. There are some days I'm indoors for 5 days. Okay. I'm just playing with my computer because constant running around will not help you. I love when the children come back, I see them, we play, we roll on the floor. They have something in touch a bank account. That's what is called being independent. Right? Limited and dependent income. Your income should not depend on your hours. Your income should depend on your mindset. I want you to write this down. Your income should not depend on your hours. Your income should depend on your mindset. Right now, as I'm sitting here, if you go by 82 times 8 hours, you come down, you go like 15 times 8 hours, that's the number time we run around, going from one job to another, going through the hot traffic and everything. And at the end of the day, you know what I told some people? What you think you earn that day, you didn't earn it. You might come here and tell me you earn 190,000 a year, 200,000, you didn't earn it. Did you calculate how many hours it took you to leave your house to go to that job? Did you calculate the inconveniences on the way? Did you calculate the wear and tear of your car? We don't do all those calculations, so we look and we say we meant low the evening. Did you calculate the amount of time you miss your children? One day a woman went to the grocery store and she was buying a lot of stuff for the children. And the daughter, just about 7 or 8, look at the mother, mommy, I hate you. You can buy whatever you're buying. When was the last time you took us out to the park? Mommy doesn't have time. Mommy knows how to do 16 hours a day. I pray that will not happen. The woman was sincere. This is a true life story. Okay. Lack of quality lifetime, quality time with family, compromised lifestyle. We don't need to live a compromised lifestyle. Enjoy what you want. Live the way God wants you to live. Why do we go through those struggles? I said it last night or year. These are the reasons. This is the reason because of single-handed income. Most of us here we have single-handed income. I don't live in that world again of single-handed income. Everybody here, if we decide today, if we decide today, we can come out of single-handed income. We can decide here, all of us, and come out of single-handed income. There is a trick in doing that. There is a way in doing that. We can come out of it. Here we have limited growth. In your job, you cannot wake up tomorrow and say, I want to be a CEO. Who here would like to be a CEO in your job? Everybody would like to be a CEO. Hey, hand is coming up. Everybody here like to be a CEO. I have already told myself, this year in this company, I must be a CEO. A CEO here makes on average $500,000. And I've given myself a target for CEO. That's why I'm in Toronto today. Tomorrow I'm in Texas. I'm in Colorado because I must be a CEO this year. If you don't look at your face to make a CEO, you look at your numbers. Okay. Write it down. Duplication equals to multiplication. Duplication equals to multiplication. Until you double your hours, your bank account cannot double. So what do we do here now? We go now to where we have security, we have unlimited growth because unlimited growth comes through duplication. Then you will have freedom. Most people are working but they don't have freedom. Most people are not here today because their bosses maybe didn't give them permission to come. Maybe they went to work. You don't have freedom. You think you have freedom, you don't. You don't have us. Okay, let's go quickly. I will skip most of this one to show you. Most people are on salary or commission or margin. That's where they take a lot of taxes. But some people decide to go on royalty, dividend, and capital gain. For you start having multi-handed income. I, by God's grace, I'm already enjoying this royalty and dividend and capital gain because once you come to the person, you start enjoying those things. Now, what you're doing comes with hours, but what I'm doing comes with the system. That's why I tell everybody, this is a wonderful business, but once you start this business, forget what you know, follow the system. Follow the system. So let me ask you this question. Will you be open-minded to know how to break paycheck to paycheck cycle? Ask that question yesterday. Open-minded to know this is the right place. How to experience multi-handed income, this is a nice place. How to give quality lifetime to your family, this is a nice place to do that. Okay. I was asking somebody and he said he wants to have quality lifestyle, so he wants to start a KFC. KFC, I will show you something about that. Or they want to start a McDonald's. So let me ask you, well, like if they give you a McDonald's restaurant, now will you be happy? Don't go to work again, I give you one McDonald's a day. You own the McDonald's franchise, will you be happy? Most people will be happy. Huh? Okay. I'll come to that. Now we are called Wealth Financial Group. I know most of you must have heard about Wealth Financial Group. As a retail industry, we work like Walmart, Amazon, we work like Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons, they don't grow coffee, but they sell coffee. They don't grow it, they sell it. Okay. Now let's go here. I shared this when I started. These are the things we do. Home financing, referral, insurance, and estate planning, investment. We do all type of investment. For those of you who are super good. If you are still young, you've not bought a house, I'll advise you, advise your friends out there from the bottom of my heart, if you didn't go for RRSP, you go for TFS. Why do people go for RRSP? They go for RRSP because they want to have tax break. Am I right? They want to have some tax return. Am I right? You don't need it. You don't need it. Go for FHSA. It has the same tax break like RRSP. And the good thing with FHSA, you can remove it at any time and buy your first house without putting it down. RRSP was to take it to buy your first house. You can never withdraw it. Once you do that, the tax guys are coming after you. So these are the companies we represent. We represent all these companies, represent BMO, represent, you can name it, we have 85, we can put all of them here. This is our biggest, IA, Industrial Alliance, they are the biggest, they're really well, they are really well, they are the biggest in the whole of Canada. This is where our Prime Minister, they love to go visit. Okay. So you might be in a place where you guys go visit. I'm not releasing any secrets out there, this is where they love to go visit. Well, am I saying this is where most of those stuff for their own children is there. Write it down. Whatever the government tells you to do is not good for you. Whatever they tell you to do is not good for you. When was the last time a government man came to you and said, brother, today we are deducting you some points because you didn't have life insurance? No. They don't deduct you points because you didn't have car insurance. Let's go. Let's continue. Education and awareness is all we know. We do here. We do education and awareness. I'm just here to educate you. You guys want to decide what you want to do with your own life. So let's run through this quickly. Now, if you desire to become wealthy, please, I want us to just share with me and then I'll say how to. If you desire to become wealthy, will you become wealthy by just making money or making money with having education about how money works? The second, I'll tell you, making money with having education about how money works is the most important. Because most people work too hard, then they give their money to the taxman or to the Canadian government. If the Canadian government says, oh, we'll put road, then they put toll on the road. How are we doing this and who pays for? So if I go here, I would like to run through this quickly. I won't spend time. Most of the money we will go to living expenses, go to tax, go to debts. That's where our money goes. Right? Most of the time we forget paying ourselves. We think when we go buy food, we pay ourselves. So I'll rush through this. I'll skip this. Who pays for? The banks pay me. Investment firms pay me. Insurance firms, they pay me. Okay. So these are the people who pay us. WFG doesn't pay me. Write that down. WFG doesn't pay me. WFG, Wealth Financial Group, is not a company. I will repeat this again. Most people think it's a company. Wealth Financial Group owns nothing. I repeat, nothing. I didn't join this. I'm not a worker of Wealth Financial Group. So that's a mistake people make. Banks pay me, insurance firms pay me, investment firms pay me, WFG doesn't pay me. So that's something I want you to know here right now. Zero cost to the consumer. You don't have to pay anything for me to help you do this saving. And I'll bet you that most people here, if you do savings for them, they will love it, and that's a great way for them to market to others. So there is shortage out there. Few are financially sound. We look at those who are doing it like they are financially sound. Few are financially sound, and a lot of people don't have this information. So when we say go into the business, we are telling you to go out there and help somebody. If you have that chance to go out there and help somebody, you are putting a smile on their faces and you are putting a smile in your bank account. I can guarantee you that. So go out there and do it. Help others and help yourself. I will speak all of you. If you are doing a business that is needed by 91% of the population, how big is a business opportunity? Our business opportunity is massive. I am not limited in just Canada. I go all over Canada, all over US. Is massive. It's very massive. So let's go here quick. Now, we will educate, which we are doing you again now, we will educate you on how to save more money on your current finances. Your current finances, I can help you to save, show you the strategies to save. If you see a difference, you proceed as a client. We're not going to tell anybody here, please join. No, please, I'll beg you. If it's not obvious, I was sharing with I said, if I knew then what I know today, I will not recruit anybody into business. I will not. Because it's hard to recruit people and you start pushing them. But if it comes from your heart, you will do it and the sky is your limit. If you see a difference, you proceed as a client. Otherwise, you continue with what you are currently doing. Continue what you're currently doing, that's fine. If you're open-minded towards the concept of multi-handed income, royalty, override, and dividends, this is a business for you, I can tell you that. We can explore business ideas to show you how to start on a part-time basis and transition to successful entrepreneur. I tell you, when you start this business, I always share with people, if you're working somewhere, we will be there to train you, but my advice for you, once you start this business or any business, don't quit your job. I can say that again. Don't quit your job. I will only advise you to quit your job if you can make double of what you're making in your current job. And you can make double in 6 months. You can make double in 1 year. I made double in a certain short period of time. So that being said, I will give you more details as you pick one of these. Please, so which one do you pick? Then we just run through this and we run with those. Learn financial concepts to secure family future or expand business idea to change family future or both. Everybody is doing for both. So how to start a business? Now I ask a question for somebody, have you ever started a business? Okay, if you have started a business, you know, I'll tell you the truth, every business has a cost. Right? Every business has a cost. As I'm standing here now, I am a franchise owner in World Financial Group. My franchise, we call it brokerage. My brokerage now is worth over 850,000. Okay. Now, I built my brokerage up to 850,000 in 1 year, 5 months. Some people can build their brokerage faster than I did. Okay. So you can do it. But what does it cost me to build my brokerage? This is it. I'll show you. Before you start any business, if you want to take pictures, very good. Not only this business, before you start any business, ask yourself these 5 questions. What is the investment? What is the time? What is the need? What knowledge? And what is the risk? If you can't answer any of those questions, I will tell you don't start a business. Whether this business or any other business, if you can't answer this question, don't start a business. What is the investment? What amount of time am I going to put into it? What is the need? So let's go quickly and answer those questions. So if you see that, what is the investment? Right? Is it okay? Are we seeing it? So what's the investment there? The investment is agency registration of 150 plus tax, license material of 199 plus tax. It brings it to 349 plus tax. So this is a real upfront cost, as I call it. This is a real upfront cost. I am personally designing something because I've seen something in this business which people want to know, hey, yourself. Come back to that some other time. I'll do that mostly with the licensed people. This is the upfront cost. And I'll tell you something. I am an accountant. I pay some insurance every year for my And the good thing is, even your license material, you can write it off. When I say write it off in your tax, people think you just get all the 199. No. Put it in there, it comes to the credit card. Now let's go. You can do this PT, that part-time in the beginning with flexible hours to decide. We have a need, there's 91% who needs it. There's abundant knowledge you have there. We have all the software and everything. Risk, what's the risk? A few $100 to gain better financial education and potential for you to build your own powerful business. So that's it. So, any question this far? Any question? Please, let's ask some questions. So, if you have to start a business, I've shown you what it costs. Now, the process of registration. Now, if you want to do this business, I've shown you what it costs. And I'll tell you the truth, it's a powerful business. I was sharing with, I think, with you yesterday. I said the only thing I see in this business, and I think Camps here will help me, if they have become an expert in it, will shut that. If you have to do this business, an exam is something you can pass. Okay. The exam is open book. The exam is multiple choice. I tell people, just learn the computer that will learn the exam. Learn the computer, that's my own. Some people read a lot, which is cool. You can also read to have the knowledge. There's a lot of stuff to learn there. And I always go by just doing the control F. I just want to find my answer and go. Some people want to know it. I didn't want to know anything while I was still preparing. I just wanted to pass my exam and go. So now, if you have to register, let me just use one person, for example. Let me show you how to register somebody. If you want to register, you can go through this app. You can go to Wealth Builder University. As if you don't have Wealth Builder University, type WFG registration. As soon as you go WFG registration, so can you see this? WFG registration. When you go here, we are only in the United States and Canada. If you want to register somebody in the United States, for now, if you are not a marketing director, you cannot register in September. They're going to change it in September. So in September, anybody can recruit somebody. Right now, you can recruit somebody in the United States. Let's say you are recruited today. You want to expand, you can expand in the United States. Write this down. If you have 10 people in the United States, it's like you have 50 people in Canada. In most states in the US, they only write one exam. Canada will write 4 exams. In most states in the US, they become SMDs and CEOs faster than here. So for you to become a CEO here, while you're recruiting here, put both of your eyes also in the US. Because the more license you have in the US, the more promotion you have here. I will show you that when the time comes. So let's say I want to recruit somebody here. Should I recruit somebody? Should volunteer? Let us try something. I'm not going to recruit you, don't worry. Sister, let me go with you. Sorry. Sister, sorry, I didn't ask your name. Sister Irene, okay. I like to just do this. Yesterday, I had one beautiful sister here. She's not here today, but I'm afraid she's on the Zoom watching. Okay. So these are the questions you ask. Were you previously affiliated with Wealth Financial Group? Were you previously? I'm just asking a question. You can say yes or no. Say yes. Now, if somebody says yes, be very careful. It happened to me. I registered before, but my mentor, and there is another thing I will train you also. I always like to go out to do training when people are preparing for license. Always ask someone whether they've been there before. If they've been there before, please don't advise them to use another email. If they've been there before, click yes. Because once you click yes and you go down, it will take you now to the next page. With the next page, you will ask that person, if you've been there before, what is your code? Am I making sense? What is your code? If you go here now and you put the person's code, right? Let me know this by code. Mama, do you remember your code? Okay. Now, if I put my code here now, I put my last name, I put my date of birth, I click verify, my information will come up, but it will show you that I'm still active. But if that person you're about to recruit joined WFG and left, you can recruit them again. Okay? Now you will put their code, you will put their last name, you will put their date of birth. As soon as you click verify, they will come up. And when they come up, they will come up with the name and the code of the last person who registered them. Are you getting me? Now, for those of you who have a license, if you face such a situation and don't know what to do, call me, because people make a mistake. They just say, okay, you put that name, you hit it, it says verify, you just click continue. If you click continue, you are registering that person again for the last person who registered them. So once you click the verify, if there was a code I would have used, go back in there, you'll see the person's name and the person's code. Go there and put your code, you the recruiter, and you click verify again. Then your name will come up. Why is that so? Because the people you have under you, as you help them to grow, then you grow. Any question? Okay, let's go back now. If sister has said no, she has never joined, so I'll just click no. Because I click no is very easy, I click next. So as soon as I click next, don't worry that the system is not working. Sometimes it takes some time. Okay, now we did it. Okay, the other big thing is progress. If you are recruiting somebody, you might be in Ontario, you can recruit all over Canada. Please pick the right program. Because if you pick Alberta, you are saying that person will write their provincial in Alberta. So you need to be very careful. You can change it later, but it will take some time to change. So as soon as I click there and I go next, now you need the person's date of birth and everything to proceed. It's very user friendly. As soon as you recruit the person, then you will get an email. I will also get an email to approve the person. Until the person is approved, their code is not activated. And if you recruit somebody, their code is activated, within 15 minutes, they can recruit another person. I'll end this with you. I said something, I don't know if you saw it. That thing just tells you, with your license, you make income. With your team, you create income. There's a difference between making income and creating income. You make income when you put the hours. You can't have a license and you decide to be a person who is making income, and another person can have a license and decide to be somebody who creates income. For you to create income, help people under you to have a license. Help people under you to make money. If I have to recruit you and I'm not there, you are not giving me your time for me to help you make money, then I will tell you this is not the right place. But from the bottom of my heart, this is the right place. Let's make it happen. Let's go out there and help family. Let's go out there and succeed together. Thank you so much.
You want to, don't worry, I'm going to close the screen. Okay, we're good. Is it? Is it? Yeah. It's working.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the mic is working.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a lot to handle at a go. Thank you, Sixties, for that information. I'm hoping that in very short time, many people will be testifying of the money they've made. And when you're making it, remember me, especially the people online. where you're there collecting. Remember me when it lands. The ones in house, I've seen your faces. I'm going to ask questions and get my cut. It's an awesome time, and I appreciate that. Now, does anybody got question? I will just say one more time. Questions? Any questions? Okay. If there's no questions, we're going to close now.
There's a question I have.
Yeah, go on.
It's probably a silly one, but anyway. You said something along the lines, follow the system. Do you mind throwing more light on that?
Yeah, when I, you know, McDonald's has a system, right? McDonald's has a system. I always say you don't start a McDonald's franchise today and tell them this is the color I want to paint my McDonald's shop. You don't start a McDonald's today and you say, from Cameroon, this is how we make burgers. So I'll make it my own way. What I see in WFG, why most people don't succeed, they come with their own system. We have a system which says, if you are recruited today, like most people who were recruited, I send them what we call the study plan. If I send study plan to 10 people, only one person follows the study plan. You are not following the system. The system actually tells us how long you can have your license. Now, why are we doing that? The time that you're going to have your license, that's why most people, their Wealth Builder University gets expired. Okay. We already know the way this exam is structured, you can do this. If you follow the system, we don't want you to be somebody who is creating money. Like I said, we don't want somebody who is making money, somebody who is creating money. I don't like to see you stay in that position of associate, training associate. I want you to grow. When you grow, you eat from my profit. But why do I want you to grow and eat from my profit? Because the person who brought me also made me to grow, and right now I own a franchise equal to his, the person who recruited me. I'm on the same level with him now. It's my joy to see that you who came yesterday is on the same level with me, so we end the same. But if you don't follow the system, believe me, you will be frustrated in the business, because if you go to McDonald's and say, I want to do the burgers this way, they will shut you down. Am I right? McDonald's will shut you down. KFC will shut you down. The same thing here, nobody will shut you down here, but you will surely shut yourself down. Because when we say follow the system, there are some things. I can speak and speak here. I can never teach you 1/10 of what is in WFG. I always say this, I go back to him also. I say, please, one strength in WFG is the strength of attending meetings. That's the way the system has been designed. If you don't attend meetings, you won't learn. I am here. I am not in America, but I know how to do IUL, Index Universal Life in the US. I know how to do 401k. Because we call meetings every day to train you on your McDonald's product. Let me put it that way. McDonald's brought you, train you how to do burgers, train you how to even do the shopping side. This is what we do here. So if you don't follow the system to the least, it will likely be frustrating, right? The system says for you to become SMD, this is what you need. For you to become CEO, this is what you need. For you to become, if you change it, you can never be there, right? So to follow the system, we just have that system like, I will tell you as you are going to write your exam, after your exam, this is the next step. After your exam, you need this software. After your exam, that's a system we follow here. If you don't follow all those things, it won't work for you. So there's a system in place for us to follow. If I go back to what I was showing you, see step 1, step 2, step 3. So those things, if you don't follow those steps, you will hardly succeed in the business. You will pass the exams. You will make the money, but you will just be making money. You will not be creating money. Okay.
Thank you very much. Can I have that? Anyway, maybe in case more question is coming, you can have that. Any other question? No?
Actually, I have a question that from what you just said. So you said there are meetings every day. So if you're doing this on a flexible basis, how would you miss out on not attending daily meetings?
That's a good one.
We have the mic here.
You will miss out and you will not miss out. What I do most of the time, like in my own bay shop, we call it bay shop. Once you have your own franchise, it's your own bay shop because my bonus comes separate now from the other once you come there. So what I do with my people, we always post there is a meeting on this, there's a training on this. Like when you saw me coming here this morning, I was in a meeting. The meeting is going on in Edmonton, but I always like to attend that meeting. Is it every meeting I will attend? No. Now, the meetings that I see that my people are not there, there are sometimes I was telling him, let's run a meeting for the people in Ontario. Let's run a meeting for the people in Alberta. Because the people in Ontario, first, you have a different time with us, right? So if you guys are not in such meetings, is it a big deal? It's a big deal, but it's not a big deal. Because I can still run that meeting with my base shop. We try to work as flexible as possible, okay? What will work for us, that will not work for you. If you guys are going to miss a meeting, which is good, you can still miss, you are busy, do it on a flexible this thing. Sometimes I do one-on-one. Do I promote that? No. But we love, like, this is Ontario. We can have a meeting just for the people of Ontario. This is US. I do the US people separate, their meeting separate from the people in Canada. So you can miss a meeting, but you still don't miss anything, everything. Does that make sense? Yeah. Don't kill yourself like you want to attend every meeting. Let me tell you the truth. I don't attend every meeting. Meetings are good. I don't attend every meeting. The one thing I'll beg you to try, spend money not to miss. When you hear events coming like Las Vegas, if there is, and for everybody here, Las Vegas just came. It didn't take 5 minutes and the tickets were sold out. If you hear like Las Vegas, I will beg you. I am a product of Las Vegas. If you go to the event in Las Vegas, you will meet more than 40,000 people doing this business. You will learn what you will never learn here even for 5 days in the short time. So when you hear on big events like that, like we run some once or twice a year, we run events in Toronto here. If events like that come, please go. Yes, it will be you are spending your money. Let me be honest with you. I was sharing with her. A business person must love to spend. Must love to spend. I love to spend because I know who is going to pay for that expenditure. So love to spend. It might be hard for you to hear this now. I will spend and spend to the last cent I have if it comes to going for such meetings. So Mama, you will miss some stuff, but you might not miss because we can still run those meetings by you, right? So those are the things.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Any more question? Any more question? It looks like Mama confiscated the microphone today. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you very much. I appreciate this. Sixes will be here for the next half an hour. If you have one-on-one and want to ask him question, it would be a good idea to grab him before he disappears. And but we know how to get him. If you need more information, contact me. If you need to get hold of him, let me know. We set up a three-way conversation, and he will share it, give you answers to your questions. He's going to go back to Edmonton, but he's still in Canada anyway, so we can track him down. So we are happy to have you here, and your lovely wife, thank you for coming to keep him intact. It's been a pleasure having all this information rolled out. We pray that it shall produce fruits and that people shall key in and improve their life through what they've heard. And I, for one, I mean. And I want to say, whoever finds the understanding, just get in. I see opportunities here. I see opportunities in this. It may look like, where do I go from here? It was fascinating when he talked about doing one policy for somebody who brought you 11 customers. Doing one was actually the savings that you did, not the policy. There's a lot to learn and understand, I can imagine, but If you're really one of those who are willing to work hard to learn new things and to explore new grounds, this is a big opportunity for you to not to miss. As I said earlier, you can choose which way you want to be part of it. You have savings to engage in and begin to save for yourself, improving yourself, or also take policies or get involved in getting license. Either way, it's fine by you. It's your decision to do. For me, I'm going all in. And by God's grace, I will testify of my windfall at some point, because I know it will happen. Praise God, somebody. Yes, there's something else. We are coming to an end now, but yesterday we discovered something. And I want to get, yes. Yes, we're going to thank those online as well for being part of this, and I appreciate that you have been online for a long time. We pray that you find a use for this information, and it will be of immense help to you, improving you and somebody else in your family or friend circle. That's the whole idea. May God empower you more in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. We can now shut down. Let's thank God.